fitness. Two people who haven't made me feel so good about my own personal fitness have been Rob and our final guest, who is an athlete with a tremendous engine, which probably accounts for the fact that he spent 11 years at Rolls-Royce. Engine, Rolls-Royce. Anybody? I'm here all week. He's now found a way of staying fit with the use of AI. He is Nico Rattala.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Thank you, first of all, to Stefan and Capgemini for having us here today. First of all, how many of you do have a wearable device such as this one? Raise your hands. Good. So our company, Missionready, is basically a personal trainer, intelligent personal trainer inside an application. And we'll go through to that. How does that actually translate into professional sports, and what the potential applications of that will be as time goes on, and we for example develop our app, and how AI can be used in different means in terms of physical optimization of your performance and physical health all together. I'm not a big rugby fan, or do not know too much about rugby myself. My only experience was when I was living in Bristol. About 10 years ago, I went to see a rugby match, and the first player I saw, because I was sitting right at the field line, and the first player I saw was a guy called Sébastien Chaval, who's those who know rugby, he's quite a physical specimen from France, now probably retired already, but it's a great sport. If I wasn't from Finland originally and played ice hockey all my life, I'd probably be playing rugby, because I like the contact sports quite a lot. A little bit about me. This is my day. So basically, what you see here is a snapshot of my data from today and this week, just by not being a professional athlete, just by wearing Apple Watch like this one. So what you can see here is that I've put out, so I've expended active energy about 1,000 calories, same for resting energy, it was about noon, so probably a bit more. At this point, I've eaten 1,200 calories, give or take. My resting heart rate, 39. My heart rate variability is 29. My weight was 79 kilos, and here's a recent ice hockey match I actually attended. It shows the heart rate variation there. All my workouts from the last couple of days, my heart rate and even weight from the last 2 years, almost every day of the last 2 years, and my calories, macronutrients, and everything from the past 7 days. So basically what the point here is that even though I'm not a professional athlete, we already have the access to so many different ways of actually tracking very important health data, just by having one of these wearables on and tracking some of your basic data, like whatever you put into your mouth. That is food, basically. So, how do we then incorporate artificial intelligence into working out and optimizing your health, well-being, and in professional sports context, your performance, so human performance optimization through AI. Almost all of that data, and put it into context, what we've just heard the previous presenters actually say, there's more and more measuring technology that comes along. You've got motion sensors, you've got all sorts of cameras and everything, which is the top high-tech technology. And even with the technology which is available to everyday consumer, we're able to track all what you just saw. So the question then becomes, how do we then analyze and use all of this data to optimize the performance, health, and well-being of an individual, of an athlete in the long term? What we basically can do, because we've got access to this data, we can simply look at your heart rate, we can simply look at your sleeping patterns, we can look at your caloric intake, protein intakes, and the likes. And if you've got deviations, for example, today, from your baseline, we can basically analyze through AI saying that, okay, well, your recovery data is not quite there. So it might be useful for you to do a sort of easier workout today, for example, or that you need to focus more on your sleep, or that you need to eat more protein today. It all goes back into how do you actually utilize all of that data that you just saw in an effective manner to be a coach 24/7, not just your professional coach who comes into the locker room and your strength and conditioning coach who might follow up with you from 2 to 8 hours a day, but also when you go home after the workout's been done. Question is, so how do you then, as a team manager, as a coach, how do you ensure that your individual or yourself or your team is actually either under training, i.e. not optimal? You're not going to win anything in this life if you're under training, especially in professional sports. If you are overtraining, how do you measure if you're overtraining? That is a bit of a very good question, but with technology we have and with the AI inbuilt, for example, into our app, we can actually analyze and make recommendations based on, for example, your resting heart rate, whether you have symptoms of overtraining or not, or whether you are actually on a path to Rugby 7 Championship. So all of this we can use artificial intelligence through wearables and your smartphones as well. And this is basically available to you, not just from the 2 to 8 hours a day as you work with your professional coach, but also afterwards, because that's where we are going, not just in sort of health optimization, but as per what we heard previously, is that in order for you to be successful in professional sports, you have to optimize every single bit, like pillow temperatures, for example, of your journey towards that gold medal or towards that Rugby 7 Championship or whatever that might be for you. And how you get there is, you can have the army of different people monitoring you and making sure everything is actually done correctly, or then obviously use technologies available for you, which will eventually happen. So just a bit of an example of what this means in terms of our application. This is from my phone, so screenshots from my phone a couple of days ago, this one, and this is actually from today, and just the screenshot of a workout image there. Based on the data that my smartphone and wearable devices puts out, what we then do is we recommend that, okay, my data indicates a risk of overtraining. That's why was that? It was simply because my resting heart rate was elevated for a couple of days from the sort of baseline that I'm used to. So this is how our application recommends me that I would need to take it a bit easier. It's another story if I actually listen to it or not, so there's a bit of a choice aspect as well. This one from today, it says, my recovery status is easy based on heart rate variability, resting heart rate, workouts, calories, sleep, all of those different data points. That says that I am ready for another workout. And there's nothing from that angle that actually prevents me from doing a good workout. So that's the wearable data analysis combined with the artificial intelligence giving me the recommendation of my recovery data. What we then do is we pair that data with smart progressive workout algorithms, which we measure your baseline in whichever mission you choose. You can choose strength or cardio. In the future, you could choose whatever, maybe a marathon or maybe a sprint runner or whatever is close to your heart as a mission. And then basically measure your baseline fitness, and then based on that and your workout input, we actually progressively increase the difficulty of that workout. So we increase the weights, increase the reps, and the likes. So this to us is Missionready, and this is how we utilize AI and smart algorithms in combination to optimize health, well-being, and performance as well. Some thoughts in terms of how AI will transform professional sports. I think these are just my own sort of reflections of what it's going to be in the future. Optimization of human performance rises to the next level exactly through the fact that you don't need that army of people to actually monitor you 24/7, because you can actually have the ability to do that and optimize those different variables, such as food intakes, such as sleep patterns, pillow temperatures is a good example, whichever it is, because you don't have to afford to have professional coaches as such to improve your performance levels. What this to me at least means, please feel free to disagree, is the fact that in the future the affordability of training material, coaching information, performance improvement advice will improve drastically. And what does that then mean? It basically means that when the affordability improves, i.e. the cost of this information, coaching, and basically performance improvement advice improves, is that from the genetic pool of all of the people across the world, there is more people who are able to access this data, which then translates into the genetically gifted people actually finding their passions in life and getting access to those professional grade workout and fitness advice as well. So that's just a sort of a personal thought in terms of how this will have an impact in the professional sports aspect. We can answer all sorts of questions with AI. How healthy is your heart? How much are you eating, and how much should you be eating as well? All sorts of issues in terms of obesity across the world. We can basically generate AI-based solutions for that as well, and this turns into professional sports quite well as well, because say, for example, you measure your weight once a week and you want to lose some weight. Basically, if you input your weight on a weekly basis, and based on if you want to lose weight, so we can then track that, saying, okay, well, your weight didn't drop this week, so what's going to happen? Well, here's your new caloric or macronutrient targets for this week, which is slightly lower than last week. And based on those fluctuations, we will be able to, not yet, but we'll be able to advise you exactly the amount of calories, macronutrients, protein, fats, and carbohydrates, what you have to eat in order for you to actually get into your target. And the same goes the other way around. If you need to build some muscle mass, for example, a rugby player or such, which works the other way around. So if you're not gaining enough body weight per week, we can then obviously increase the macronutrients likewise. And it goes into every aspect. Mindfulness, meditation, and these sorts of issues. Not sure how much these are used in professional sports, probably, but in this context it's a bit off the topic. But in any case, we will be able to, or we are able to answer how healthy you actually are. Even based on, if I looked at some of the Apple HealthKit data that are potentially in your iPhones, we could already make predictions of, based on whatever's in your health kit, whether you are sedentary, or whether you're very active, or whether you will even live longer or whatnot. You can make all sorts of predictions from this. VO2 max, strength levels, everything, which is more relevant to professional sports spec. Again, we as an application, we're not a competitor to Fitbits or MyFitnessPals or Garmin's or whatever. We are sort of on top of this, because we use the data that can be gathered from these workout and tracking applications, which goes into the Apple Health Kit, and then based on that data we make recommendations in terms of your recovery, for example, in the future, nutrition, overall health and well-being as well. So that's how we position ourselves as a business going forward. And obviously we're just a small player in a very, there are thousands and millions of different fitness apps out there. We're not going to start competing against these. We are basically running in parallel and just being a supplementary or complementary tool for you to optimize your health, performance, and well-being as well. So we have just gone live with our minimum viable product in March on the App Store, so you will be able to find us there. Please take a look. We've got some free missions for you to use, so do try that out. The version 2 will be in the pipeline within the next 2 months, which will include a lot of different improvements into the first version, where we're basically going to include daily analysis and recommendations with regards to your diet, with regards to your BMI, resting heart rate variability. There's a lot of interesting data that can be analyzed and recommendations that can be made based on that data. For example, sleeping as well, calories. What would be the next best workout for you based on your health data that is in the application as well. So these are some ideas that we actually have for our version 2. Now, how I see the whole segment is that there's the professional sports is like another sphere into this direction, and it's like we can serve, or our artificial intelligence in general will serve all of this space massively in the future. I can't really wait for the future to come and be able to be a part of that development, because of the fact that I think health, performance, longevity will increase significantly in the future because of this. What artificial intelligence and sports tech in general will not cover is obviously the choice decision. It's still that's the hard part, whether you want to do it and want to be healthier and want to be a professional athlete or not. That's obviously something that we can't have an impact on. Just a bit of our team, very, very enthusiastic about fitness sports as well. Our CEO, Laura, is actually a gymnastics champion, national champion back in Finland. Myself, I played ice hockey for 16 years, just scratched that professional level, didn't quite make it there, so yes, Rolls-Royce then was my career choice, now doing this. Aki, our CTO, has actually worked in AI for about a decade now, application development as well, so he's basically brain powering the technology, AI, and algorithms behind our application for sure. It's just a short video from our application. There's nothing really specific about this, but what I'd like to leave you with is the sort of notion that artificial intelligence, smart algorithms will be changing the landscape in terms of how health, fitness, performance are actually optimized, not just in the general population, but in the professional sports spec as well, because of the affordability factor, which will basically make this technology available almost to everybody. So thank you very much for your attention. If you have any questions, I'll be taking these afterwards, and thanks.